Mom, why don't you tell us what it was like growing up on Corn Island as a child?
Well, um, it was very good. I, I, I mean, we enjoyed that. Me and my two sisters,
That's
we
Lucille
enjoyed
and Patience, right? The twins.
Patience and Lucy, yeah.
Twin sisters.
They were twins.
Mm-hmm.
And then after they were taken away and sent to Jamaica to school, I was there by myself. But I would go to Bluefields. That's about 40 miles of the ocean. You go to Bluefields to school from from September until May. And then in May, I go home back in Colorado with my mother. Well, I love to go because my mother treated me as if I was a princess. I didn't have to do anything. She just get up in the morning, go to the beach, and when you come back, I'll have your breakfast ready. And I go to the beach and find some friends and go to the beach and come home. And my mother would have fried green bananas, fried beans, because they don't have what you call a bean pot. A big pot, and it's kept on the stove. And empty carrying on all day long, all time they can cook beans. They can make bean soup, bean stew, rice and beans, or fried beans, because they keep that pot hot and the bean is tender, so you don't have to worry about, well, anyway, we would have that. Well, it seems that while I was young, I don't know, it was, another thing is the beautiful full moon. Full moon, it was like you could reach up and put a star down.
Wow.
It was so beautiful. And we had friends come, a friend to come and visit, and I would walk her home, and then she'd walk me home. And my mother said, that is so simple. Why don't you just, if you have to walk each other home, walk halfway. And then I go home and you come back home. Okay. Well, it seemed that a ship used to come in the island around in June or July, I don't know exactly, and they would dynamite ocean first fish, dynamite ship and for fish.
Yeah.
And the fish would be, we'd have, after they take all the ship take all the fish they want, then the people can go with the boat and
get the fish.
Get the rest of fish.
Yeah, I read about that. And it's illegal now, obviously, but yeah, that was a very common way of fishing back in the day.
Oh, you did it?
I did. I looked it up.
You make sure with everything I say.
I'm verifying what you exactly.
Well, it seemed that the sailors, they were kind of tired of the American. I don't know whether they were American ships or what
nationality.
but there were. All I knew, there were sailors, white, and it didn't make a difference in Cold Island because everybody in Cold Island, except in us, we and another family, were the black ones. All the rest of them was white,
Biracial, yeah.
with blonde hair,
Yeah.
gray eyes, and blue eyes. Very sad that you find them dark skin. But they had this beautiful hair. And they claimed that they all came from pirates.
Pirates, yeah.
Yeah, pirates
Yeah.
used to do the island. It was, leave out the pirates use the island to bury their treasure. And, oh boy, the people used to dig up the island like crazy.
Looking for the treasure.
Looking for treasures, especially up under here. Looking for treasures. Anyway, the ship would come in and they would blow by the fish and I don't call them native. The people who live on the island would take the way. So these boys, I guess they were tired of they wanted to try some different food. They would walk around the island. The island is on the boat, I think the island was about 900 foot square.
Yeah, I have to look it up. It's not a big island, no, yeah.
Yeah, very small island. You could walk it around in 3 or 4 hours. So they were walking around looking for a restaurant. So they saw my father on the balcony, naturally. So they came ask him where could they find a restaurant. So he says there's a restaurant in this island. So my mother came out and says, but if you want, if you don't mind, I will cook some food for you all, but you just go around the island, and by the time you come back, I will have the food ready. So she sent me to get up the handyman, which was his name was Oscar, to get some chicken, pick up some chicken off the yard and kill them and clean them up. And she had, as I said, they had the bean pot.
Okay.
She made a bean pot of rice and beans, and she boiled banana, plantain, yuca, and flaxseed.
And what? What was the last name?
Flaxseed.
What's that?
Like something like banana, but it's fat.
Oh, okay.
It's short and fat.
Sweet? A sweet banana?
Huh?
Sweet?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like banana. It's very,
But it's not sweet?
it when it ripe it's sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
But she boiled those with the rice and
Oh,
beans, and then my mother had a very nice set kitchen, dining room, and a safe. I know what you all call a safe is different. What we call a safe is, you call it a brick front here.
Oh, break front, yeah.
But it's a safe big with, and then she kept a little china. Got Milton, which was in New York, sent her that safe.
Oh.
And sent her all the china that she needed and sent her, I think, the table and the dining room set.
Wow.
And another thing he sent us was the gramophone. The gramophone was that high, and tall,
Mm-hmm.
and then it then he said records also, and I remember this record. He said, uh, just an echo, ooh, in the valley, ooh, and it bring back sweet memory of you, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh.
He's a cowboy singer. Anyway,
So Milton sent her all that, Uncle Milton.
yeah, Uncle, yes,
and
right.
that's Carmen and Georgie's daddy.
Yes, the common that, and Byron too
Would send stuff.
was a help,
Yeah.
yeah. But and I told you he sent her the White House cookbook, which,
Oh, that's right. The White House cookbook.
yeah. When they came and they did come back later, and my mother had the place all set up and the food already. And they ate like they never had food before.
About how many guys was it? How many people?
4.
Okay.
4 of them. And so I think it was every 3 or 4 years the ship came and blew up the ocean. And every time they come to my mother and bring her gift. And one time they brought her a ham. Oh my God, and my mother got more friends.
More friends?
More friends in Corn Island. All of them was her friends coming to get piece of ham. And so when they came back, Mama says, I appreciate the ham, but we can't eat it. It's too salty. So they told her how to do it. So you hang the ham, and they cut out the ham, boil it, boil all the salt out, and fry it or bake it. And that's what she did. And that's what they did. And that ham, that's at the bone was just delicious.
And that ham, that's they salted it to preserve it, right? That's so that they could preserve it and it wouldn't spoil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but she didn't. Had you all ever had ham before?
No.
Yeah, that was your first experience
That's,
with ham. Yeah.
that's why they know they do about ham.
Yeah.
But they never had
had
ham.
it.
I don't know why. I mean, I never had ham.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if my mother had ham.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she did, because if she did, she would have known how to boil at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You had to boil the salt
Right,
out
the
of
salt
the ham,
out of it. Yeah, yeah.
because the ham was different. So, and then eventually, I guess I grew up and left Corn Island.
Well, tell the story about when I like to hear the story about when you had the toothache.
Then I had a toothache. My teeth. Oh my God! I had a terrible toothache. As I said, the island was and you walk on in 4 hours. And I just couldn't think it. So I told my mother, I says, I think I was about a teenager, 14, 30, 40 years old. I couldn't think, and she said, well, why don't you go to North End to the doctor? We had one doctor, he was everything. And have him pull it. So I did. And she said, ask one of Lucy, your friend, to go with you. So we decided that call Lucy, and I asked Lucy, and she came out that morning, and we left just by daylight. We left, and we left. But we didn't go around the island. We gone through the woods, and I think we got around 2 hours, 1.5 2 hours at the doctor's office. So he said, he was sad, but he didn't have any Novocaine, and he had ordered some, but they didn't come yet. And he didn't have any facility for pulling teeth because he never thought he had to do that. So he said that he would do it if I were willing to let him use whatever he had. So I told him I didn't care what he did. I just wanted it out because it hurt so bad. And so I sat in the kitchen chair, and he told Lucy, the girl above me, to hold me as tight as she could. And I think he tied me around the waist to the chair. And she held like the shoulder part.
Okay.
And he took a knife and cut the gum. And Lord, why you all bring that up? And then he took a pliers. Oh God, and I died.
Oh gosh.
I died.
There's so much pain.
But it came out. It came out, and you could hear me hollering.
In Bluefields.
Yes,
across the ocean. Oh, poor mom. Poor mom. Talk a little bit about the island itself, because like if somebody who lives on Corn Island right now were to hear this, what part of the island did you live on? And maybe describe the island to someone who maybe even never heard of Corn Island. Corn Island. Describe what the island was like.
The island, the island, I don't know.
Well, which part of the island did you live on? I'll just ask you some questions.
I never live on any island.
South End, North End, what part of the island?
Oh, we live on South End.
You live on South End, and that's
we live on South End.
And that's where that Grandpa's church was also, right?
Yeah.
And what was the name of his church at that time?
St. Andrews.
St. Andrews is what they called it.
Yeah.
And your father had how much land on Corn Island?
How much?
How much land did he own?
Lord, I think he owned probably half of it.
Was it 40 acres?
42 acres.
42 acres, yeah.
Yeah.
And how did he purchase that land?
He purchased the land with the money, with the dowry that he got from my mother. My mother. He got 200 pieces of 20 gold piece. $20 gold piece.
$220 gold pieces?
Yeah, $200 piece. And he purchased the land that we lived on all the way back. I think I walked at the land, it was our land, to North End. And then he purchased one called Sally Peachy.
Sally Peachy. I
know
Sally Peachy. He purchased over on Sally Peachy.
Yeah. And then he purchased about another, so many lands. And he purchased. But so when any of us leave home or he put us out after 20 years, he give us each 20 put a gold piece or $26 gold piece. And that's the way.
Well, I know my memories of Corn Island were the waters were just gorgeous. You know, that beautiful.
The water was, and the thing about Corn Island is the ocean is here and the swamp is here. So, how my brother Herbert, the one that he cut with the Cartagena.
Yeah, the doctor.
The doctor, yeah. When I was, my father, after Karen Miller died, went to Jamaica and died, and my father had to had to go to Bluefields for first Sunday and second Sunday. Then he would come back to Cordan for third or fourth Sunday.
Okay.
Okay. So, my brother Herbert was in Corn Island, and they used to have, as I said, the moonlight was so bright and so beautiful that they would have like festival, and they would use a drum, boy put it out in the yard over rocks, hot rocks, and boil the banana in the skin and plantain in the skin, and then get crab. Oh. They go crabbing, and they put the crab in, and we all sit down and eat crab and cheese. And go to So Herbert, the son was there once, and he was eating a mango, but they didn't have him to catch a crab, hold the bag that they could put the crab in. And but he was eating a mango, and they gave him the crab because I don't know why he couldn't hold the bag open plus eat the mango. So they gave him the crab. And instead of putting the mango, he put the crab. Oh. And the next thing they heard him hollering, and the crab had hooked onto his lip.
Oh no.
And that was the joke.
So now Herbert, he was Eduardo's father.
Yes.
Yeah, and Winston too. I never met Winston. I think we have a picture of him though.
Yeah.
But Eduardo and Winston.
Yes, and my father decided that we were on the island. We should learn to ride horses. Uh-oh. Well, I was afraid of a horse. So he hired this guy, and he got these horses, and they put me on the horse. But he was a mare, and the mare had just had a colt. And I felt like I was a mile high above the ground. I did. And then the mare started to leave for his colt. And that scared the heck out of me. I jumped off that horse. I was like crazy. I could have killed myself because, but anyway, I jumped off the horse, I doubled the inner, and I walked home. I said, nope, I'll never. So when my father had to go, and he left me, Herbert, and Mama, and told us we were to come later. Well, I was the kind of kid that scream at every little thing. If I say a bug, I would scream and holler. So, my mother had me to empty the garbage. And I had a garbage in an old can. And I was swinging it like a foot. And the swing and hit my foot and cut. Ooh. And boy, I started, when things started bleeding, and I started screaming. And eventually Herbert and Mama came. And then Mama says, "Oh, we need to get some cobweb." And the husband said, "No, cobweb? You're not going to put cobweb on that cut." He said, "Get the cloth, clean cloth, Mom, you sew, get some of your linen, and make a paste with flour and a little sugar, and we put on there. But I couldn't walk on it. So, guess what I had to do?
What?
Ride the horse.
Ride the horse.
Ride the horse to the boat. And then when I got to Bluefields, the doctor said it was doing good.
This was before.
I just had to keep out of it.
This was before Herbert became a doctor?
Oh, Herbert was a teenager.
Oh, he was a teenager then.
Yeah, that's the reason why I think he was. My parents were. When he wanted, they were agreeable because he helped me because the doctor said I had cut a vein.
You had what?
Cut a vein.
Oh my God! Wow.
I could have bled to death.
Yeah. So at that time there was no medical.
No.
Just that one doctor that pulled your tooth, but
that's it. We weren't sure he was there.
Where he probably maybe he went to different islands.
That's right. Yeah.
Had you ever when we went to Corn Island years later, lobster was the big hit there. They had so much lobster. Do you remember lobster? Because you talked about
no. We had crayfish.
Well, it was lobster when we were there. Remember?
No, but now
Oh,
when we were there.
Yeah, lobster $6. You could get a whole big giant dinner of lobster and people. It's a big lobster business.
Selling lobster. Like they were selling lobster to U.S. like banana.
Yes.
And they were selling coconut oil and coca. The coconut fat, and then all of a sudden they got the coconut oil and the salt, and that was a boom. Everybody was
in that business,
buying coconut and a guy started. He made what you call it. I think that you could get the coconut, boom, and he did that, and the people line up. And he made good money. And my father decided, now here a nice library in the back room. You don't remember the house?
I think I do. It was on the beach side, right? Yeah, and it was a big house that had a big porch on it. Right? Like, I remember because that's the house I went to.
He had a library, the back porch room. He had a library there. I remember I read Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Oh, okay.
In that library, and well, he decided the library was making him money, so he decided to get rid of the library. He took all the books on and started order from the mercantile canned foods. So he said, when those people get through with the coconut oil business, they will stay hungry and tired. So they'll come by and buy canned food and eat that, So that's exactly what happened. Then he got tired of getting up going serving them.
Mm-hmm.
So he started going there and take what you want. The price that you write it down in the book.
The honor system, huh?
Huh?
The honor system.
Yeah.
Stop with the chair.
And then
Stop with the chair, Mom.
and when they get sell the oil, they pay him and he make a good money. You know, my mother doing it.
What did your mother do?
She got asked her to get the coconut and to chip them all and do the bed.
And join.
There would it's a big drum
Mm-hmm.
and they put a cloth over it
Mm-hmm.
and after they grind the coconut, they take the seawater and squeeze all the juice of the coconut
Mm-hmm.
trash and then they throw away the trash.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next morning, all the oil would be on top.
Oh, that's how.
And then they skim the oil off and can them.
Mm-hmm.
And usually be about 5 gallons of oil each.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And then let me see what it. That's about. The week though. I lived there. It was very identical. He was good. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Did you ever do anything with Little Corn Island?
Huh?
Did you ever go over to Little
No,
Corn Island?
I didn't
Yeah.
go over to Little Corn. I always never.
Yeah, they call it Big Corn Island. So that's,
Yeah.
Big Corn Island, Little Corn Island.
But we understand eventually that America had a lease for 99 years
Mm-hmm.
on the Corn Islands.
Because they thought that they may do like, I guess, an isthmus or the Panama Canal type,
Yeah.
pathway
They had that though, but so they were considering between Costa Rica and White House.
Mm-hmm. Putting a
That they
okay,
were considering putting it.
yeah, because it's so unique because it's the Atlantic on one side, the Pacific on the other. Do you ever remember being in a hurricane?
Oh, yeah, we had one hurricane there. Was a hurricane really, was caught a high wind, and everybody came to the mission house.
To the mission house. This is
And it was packed to the brim, and that was great. And
it was fun, huh?
yes, everybody knew about hurricane that, oh, it was Sunday, it's Sunday when the hurricane is over.
So it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Oh, no, but the Chinaman used to, that he was the only fisherman on South End. He was the only fisherman, and when he go fishing, and if he catch 2 fish, he give my father one, and he keep one. So he fish. Oh, that morning he says he got up out his house, but I must go in his kitchen to make himself the coffee breakfast because he was going fishing. And all of a sudden, the kitchen was attached. You know what thatch is?
No, what's that?
A thatch is made of a coconut bough and what else? that's about it. All the coconut leaves,
Mhm.
great big
Oh,
mounds,
okay. Yes.
and then put them back and forth through kale
Mhm.
thing, and it's made clothing.
Right.
So the wind knocked that down completely, and he was in it. But he said there was a happen that when the wind knocked it, it slid down like this,
Mhm.
and so he didn't get
He didn't
hurt.
get hurt. Okay.
Yeah, and he ran out of there, and he said, I ain't go fishing today.
He knew the storm. There was a storm on the way, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was stop there, and yeah, there was a stop. Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And the oil came to my house. But remember when we met them in 201, that house had blown
They
down,
blown
right?
down. Yeah. They had had a bad hurricane because they
Yeah.
had lost the church. They had lost the house. Yeah. Yeah.
The hurricane had blown the house down. And I was standing with the cement step.
Cement step. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah. That was what was left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And was there?
And right now, the only relative we have that we
Is
know
Eduardo.
of is Eduardo. He, at least
Did
he-
you hear from him?
Yeah, I keep up with him. Yeah.
Did he say about the hurricane?
Well, yeah, he's just staying in his house. He has really bad asthma, so he kind of has to stay away from people because of the virus. Yeah, they were okay. They just got strong. The waters looked really bad and everything, but they didn't get. Thank God, because the hurricane was it didn't come close to them. It was closer to I guess to Puerto Cabeza is where the hurricane went in Honduras. So.
Yeah. What? I had one more thing to say about Colada, but I can't remember. I think that's it. Oh. Oh no, we used to, when you go to, somebody asking me, I think Fraser was asking me about Christmas. I know we didn't celebrate Christmas, we didn't have any Santa Claus and all of that. We just, like on Christmas, we get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and we go to church. And then we come home and have breakfast, and then you go back to church after Christmas Day. That's it. And then Easter, the same thing. But Easter, when you go to church, then we walk, the whole congregation walk to the graveyard and sing and songs and whatnot on the grave. And then the priest say some few words and they go home.
Did you have special food on Christmas though? Did you have any different kind of special
No.
food? No gifts or anything like that?
My father would have wine and my mother would make, I tell you, all those cakes. She made all kind of cakes and tarts, and then she put it in a trunk that looks like that looks something like that, like the pirates trunk that they would bury the treasuries. So she would have that full of cakes, and then she would make ginger beer, 5 gallons worth of ginger beer.
Ooh.
And then that when people would come up to the house because they know they're going to get cake and ginger beer. Then my father decided once that he gave certain people a glass of wine with the cake.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother said to him, you know, your wine is very low. So he says, well, don't give her any more wine, just give her in the beer. So she says, okay. So when I know the guy came in and Uta, would you get him a piece of cake out of wine? My mama says, but there's no more wine. And I go to, there must be a little bit of wine somewhere. My mother said, I go look. And she look and she put the wine in the glass and she gave her. And when he left here, why you give that guy my wine? He said, why you insist that we give him wine? You told me not to give him wine, and I said there was no wine, and you said there must be some little bit there.
Right.
So it was, and I gave him wine, and there is no more wine. You want them to say, Miss Hawkins is cheap, don't want to give us a wine, when really it was ready to give us a wine.
And if people didn't catch it, she said Uta. That's what Grandpa called Grandma, right?
Yeah,
Uta.
yeah, and she called him Hockey.
She called him what?
Hockey.
Hockey? Oh, hockey. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, hockey. Hockey and Uta. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Uta was like Louisiana.
Uh-huh. Louise Uta.
And so Mama says he wants to give her a bad name. She's
Sound like they were a mess.
yeah.
So.
We had no Christmas, no toys.
No.
Maybe when we in Bluefields, because when the ones go to Bluefields when they were in school,
Mm-hmm.
you were in Bluefields, you had they would give you maybe an apple
Mm-hmm.
or some grapes.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a Christmas gift.
Wow.
I remember one year Carmen gave us our sparkles. Oh yeah, we get
Sparkles?
lots of sparkles.
Oh.
Carmen gave us and one doll for three of us, but you had to be very careful. Don't put the doll nowhere near the flame. God did good.
Blow up, yeah.
Blow,
Burn up.
yeah. And that's exactly happened to me. That,
The
the sparkle hit it. And next you know, it doesn't
That was
right.
your doll. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, wow. But you, Lucille, and Patience was sharing a doll?
Mm,
Okay. All right.
yeah. And you go to church and at Christmas, New Year's Eve, you go to church at 12, 11 o'clock. And then the Chinaman, there one Chinaman there, they would throw the rocket in the air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that was it, yeah.
Wow.
All right. We lived right next door to the church, a big house with no glass windows, but windows, wooden windows that had to be kept open, except in sometimes when it rains. To keep the rain coming in, you close it, but it was open all the time. Now, at that time, nobody could go to church unless they have their head covered, because that's what St. Paul said. You have to cover your head. So my mother and my elder sister We didn't have any hats. My mother and my elder sister decided to go to Cologne and buy clothes of hats and socks and dresses and so materials for dresses and so forth. And they left home Herbert, my soul, and Byron, those two.
Mm-hmm. Herbert and Byron. Okay.
Yeah, Herbert and Byron, to take care of us. They were teenagers. And I probably was around 5, and Lucy LaPage was 7.
This is like in the 1920s then, okay?
Yeah. So my father decided the church was so close to the that we couldn't come to church anymore because we didn't have any hats on our head. And I guess he didn't think about putting a cross, but he told, because what happened, when they have start singing in the church, me, the celebrities, would get to the window and start singing loud as we could and disturb the church,
The service.
the service. Because when they stopped singing, we would continue singing, and the church was very close to the house. And so my father said, I don't care what you do, but they get in church next Sunday. You can put some pot and grater on their head, I don't care. Just get them out, and you can't control them in the house here. We get them in church. So the next Sunday, they did. They put grater and pots on their heads.
A kettle, a grater, and a pot, right?
Yes. I told us to go to church. And so we went down the church, you come into the entrances in front and the entrance in the back. So we used the back entrance were walking up the aisle when the people saw us with all this grater and pot on their head. And they started to laugh, and they couldn't control themselves. And when my father turned around to give the grace, and he saw it, he said, "Get those kids out of here! Get those kids! Get those kids out of here!" And so that was the end of the service. No, that's all I had to tell you.
Okay, that's a great story. Great. I actually had that story written down and I wrote it out and we put it in a book. So that's a great story. All right. Thank you, Mom.
All right, very.